Okay, for some reason or another, that video stopped. The government stopped it. My light, like I said, they're doing some stuff with the computer to trigger things. That's where that is. That's where that is. This check engine light that's on, I'm going in on tomorrow because today's the 8th now. Unfortunately, I gotta cut my car off to go get this two-sided tape because I left it sitting on my desk instead of bringing it with me. So, and look, the light is still on. Oh, it's a park light. So it's not like something I couldn't fix. But they do so much shit, you know, it's always like alarming. Anytime anything happens, I'm like, what the fuck now? You hear my door the way it sounds? My door never does that. I've been having a hard time shutting it and opening it. Should have turned this light on. Trying to get the picture to come in clear. I grilled yesterday, so well, it's not really a mess right here, but normally I grill it inside. I guess I'll leave that on till I return. Something I don't normally do. But the reason I need this two-sided tape is because the little gadget that I got, they were tampering with my mail today too. My surveillance camera and my mail. And look, right now, my surveillance camera still isn't capturing me. It's up there on my left bedroom window. My floor is the second floor of this duplex, and it is not working. The guy across the street was over here earlier. I caught him running off. This is like 6:45 a.m. So, and they didn't allow me to sleep, which means they were putting others under extreme suggestions. Both times that I returned tonight, her daughter was outside waiting to cover my traces. And that's what they do. They surface when they're trying to cover what took place. I'm just going to use this two-side tape because I know. Oh, this is horrible too, though, because now I'm going to be stuck with the camera facing one way. That's just going to have to be okay. Okay, that light where you see it, that's the side door of the apartment downstairs. I'm positioning this camera, so trying to get it to fit and not slip. I think that'll do. Okay, now we're going out the same way I went out, and we'll be returning the same way I returned. Amazing. We didn't tint everything out. Now this chick next door, that's who they call my mom all the time. And because the duplex in this house is positioned side by side, they claim that I always see her. They call that bitch my mom in order to maintain a false vibrational frequency. It's all about eugenics. And she's an old hoe. Like, she's literally an old prostitute. And she's an old crackhead. I mean, and she still does crack sometime. And she married a pedophile recently to sabotage me. Because they were claiming, you know, that we were acquainted. And they were talking about how I had birth certificates that conflicted. They used her in order to say that my mom really was married at once. It's so weird because parallel reality, the type of documents that they support and supply, you know, is never reality based. So I took Cole Avenue. Now I can't listen to any music. Talk about they lied about the whole trip. And I was just getting out for like a quick minute because I was being attacked so badly by science in my apartment. They got a whole gang of motherfucking demons positioned right underneath me, attacking the fuck out of me and claiming it's not me that they're attacking. This is day 3 back. I've been back from vacation 3 days. When I rode by here, there was a bus driver. They were cursing and spelling about the bus driver at Circle K. I didn't have nothing to do with him. Don't know who he was. Just recognized the uniform. Because, you know, for 2 years I did ride the bus. 2019, 2020, 2021, 3 years. Right now we're on Brown Street. Can't believe the type of shit the government be pulling. They're so fucking despicable and shameless and inhumane. Like, more than anything, they're inhumane as fuck. Like, they're trifling. They really got like some handicapped motherfuckers like running this shit, like they're twisted in ways that you wouldn't even believe. But they're doing it all for you constituents. Like I said, this is about eugenics. They're doing it all for their fleshly outfits. I wonder if I can put like some music on it. Only the bass will pick up and I won't have to tell what song it is. Like, deal with no copyright stuff. They keep pointing the camera down. motherfuckers. These are all folks that get high. They just don't want to motherfucking, like, be who they used to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, the type of crackheads that, like, end up losing everything that they got behind their habit. They don't want to argue all the time with who they're with. They don't want to, you know, be triggered so badly that they jump on the person they're with. So now we're on East Exchange, or I don't know about East Exchange, but we are on Exchange Street. Every time I pass police officers, they curse and spell. And you know that's the brotherhood. You know, they do shit all the time. It's never good when I come across cops in passing. And we're talking, like I just said, I can't even come across these motherfuckers in passing without them acting like they have a reason to look in. Like, and when I say look in, they're talking about surveil. Okay, so like remotely surveil and use the identities that I'm coming across to make sure that nothing works out in my fucking favor. Before I left, her boyfriend, the terrorist, Skull and Bone type, was outside. After he had already fucking struck again, he had the nerve to come outside right after I came outside. But when I got home, he pulled a stunt. He was sitting in the driveway waiting on me, informed, okay? Waiting on me to arrive. As soon as I arrived and pulled in the driveway, he puts his car in reverse. And so I back out. My camera doesn't catch any of it. I back out. I go down the street near the elementary school. I turn around and I come back. And, you know, he goes the opposite way. But they claimed that he was me. And that they've been claiming my surveillance system is theirs. They're still claiming that they're in a single family home and not a duplex. So right up here at this light is where I saw two cop cruisers. One turned, coming this way, going in the opposite direction. The other kept straight, but it turned on East Market. Now, I ain't never saw nobody, but I suppose this is like stalking my mom. Kinda, I don't know. It's not with intent to see her. It was just to ride by and see what I felt. And what type of conversation the government struck up. This is Arlington Road. They do so much shit in a fucking day, you can't even note it all. You gotta think. 24/7. While I'm talking right now, they're talking. Okay? Like 24/7. They don't stop. They always got something to say to me. They're always trying to attack my vibrations and make sure that I don't experience joy in anything that I do. So when I accomplish a task, when I meet a milestone, you know, they go that much harder to make sure that I don't experience any other gratitude with getting it done. It's non-stop. And the attack on vibrations is mostly because they're trying to call, because of who they're calling me. Because they're calling me these lower vibrational beings, they always attack me with science and words. That's spelling. Cursing and spelling. Okay, I'm turning on the Myers. When I came down this street the last time, they had a decoy in place. It was another white vehicle, not like mine, but they were claiming that, you know, I wasn't here and that, you know, that was the decoy. That's who was here. And on this street, not on my mom's street. And look, now that same car is still outside these hours later, but going inside. It's no longer on the street, it's in the driveway. And that's the second time seeing me pass. Well, the cops are up there. Okay. So my mom lives over here on the right. Like I'm literally passing it right now. And there's nothing. Let me get out the way of this cruiser who has its bright lights on. Like, no, the shot, only the shot. They've been evil eyes. They've been attacking my vehicle for days. I let it sit still for 3 days. After I got my rear brakes and rotors done, I let it sit still because I didn't plan on leaving my apartment. I had to get things in order. And they did so much stuff. I'm talking about they knocked my camera off the side of the house. My surveillance camera, 1 of 3. The one that was in the driveway, because they said that it was compromising their operation. You know, their door in the apartment beneath me. We're on East Market now. Their door, the apartment beneath me, they don't use their front door, they use their side door. That's Summa Hospital, another motherfucking problem. And they often call those in the apartment beneath me Summa because that's their representative. They make sure that they have a real take on my status and, you know, what's going on with me because of how they're attacking my family and have been attacking my bloodline. Okay, right here, this house where that light is on, not where that light is on, but that house, it's like a multi-unit. They got like 4, 5, maybe even 6 apartments in there. That's where George Dorsey stays. That's where I stayed in between my stays at Terry House when I was homeless, after they had the police and Summa retaliate on me. And he's an addict, a functional addict, and yeah, he existed for my demise, you know, like because of the things that he was affiliated with, like mixed, you know, interracial stuff and all kind of things, just filth. And when I say filth, I'm talking about extra nasty, like poop and panties filth. I guess that's as clear as that gets. Why does it seem so... Is it my window? Maybe it is my window. Oops. Tried to clean it up. I mean, I don't think it's like a fog, even though it looks like that. It's too warm in here for that to be the case. We're passing by a university where I was also attacked with trespassing charges and, you know, Like, they always showed up in places they had no way of knowing that I was, because they were surveilling me and would tell me that they were coming to cause me a problem and would. So far, every street we just hit, they didn't show that I was on. We gonna see what my Safe Pilot says when we return to Upland. It rained today too. I was just thinking about my car and whether or not it needed to be washed. It rained today. I let it sit through most of the rain. I didn't leave until about 3:45, and it was some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, just all the covert shit that they try to act like it's normal, and like you don't know, like you don't know it's taking place. I rode past the police department. That's the police department on the right. Right now I'm turning on the South High Street. These stupid proud ass motherfuckers. We are Akron. Y'all are dummies. Shit that can't exist without science. You're not human. But I was saying, all the streets that I hit, they act like I didn't hit. I'm drinking liquor right now. They're acting like it's not me that's drinking liquor, and don't allow any of it. You know, with anything that you do it to satisfy you. So you're in sort of pleasure. Dopamine. I have not experienced dopamine in probably 3 years. 2.5. 3 might be a little bit of an exaggeration. I've been at that apartment 3 years. 2.5. 2 3/4. They right at my neck and my stomach. If it hits my stomach, sometimes things don't even hit my stomach. They intercept things right at my neck and my stomach, and they put traces of what I had in others and claim that they were me in order to claim my activity. And then they'll put the bullshit that they're eating and drinking and the drugs that they're doing, you know, the negative effects of the drugs in my system. I've been on probation a whole year. I have a drug test tomorrow. I've been getting drug screens, like I said, a whole year. So they don't do anything to compromise that just because they can't justify it. So it's like that goes back to what I was saying about parallel reality conflicting completely with reality, because they are in fact calling me all the crackheads. Now there's an easier way to do this, but I'm going to go the same way that I went. We're on Main Street, and this right about here is when I decided to take a ride through my old neighborhood. I'm having vodka. I just had Crown Royal. I had maybe 4, what would be equivalent to 4 or 5 shots of Crown Royal. And now that's like a triple shot of vodka. You see how this one stay in place even with the double-sided tape? Haven't gotten any of it. It's all about depleting the dollar. They like just drink your entire supply if you let them. Like they're addicts that can't afford stuff that they're calling you. That's who they give it to. They give them the effect. You've seen folks that like are on a natural high and they say they don't do nothing. You see it all the time. So they're feeding as if they would in a different status or demographic tier. Shut up, faggot. So, when they were threatening to kill my uncle, they wanted me to have sex with Donald, who had sex with the filthy female that I was talking about, Georgia's granddaughter, Janisha. Donald is her mom's boyfriend, okay? And I think they even have a kid together. So, that's what they were trying to pressure me into, you know, to not kill my uncle. And that's not something I can go to the police department and tell them because it's not recognized. So I didn't want to lose my uncle. They had just killed my cousin and my great aunt and a lot of other things. They just paralyzed my uncle too at that time. So anyhow, I had sex with him twice. And this area, okay, check this out. I'm gonna catch the name of this street. I'm about to turn up Paris, but Yale. This is Yale. Okay, right there, that church that you see. I used to go to that church as a kid with my great aunt. Okay, so that's kind of how he aligned things, was saying that he knew me from a different time. This place where all the lights is on, that's where I went with him. He knew a guy that stayed there, and they were doing some dealings. So you know how that goes. When you're in those filthy type situations, you know, they be running around trying to get deals done. You know, buying drugs, selling drugs, whatever the case may be. Hold up. I gotta back up. Because I did turn up that other street. And went right towards where Lincoln Elementary was. Which is the second elementary school that I went to that they tore down. Firestone was the first, and it's still standing. So Schaefer, Crozier, left onto Crozier. I think maybe I took Schaefer. I don't know. We'll find out at this stop sign. These are streets I've never driven. And mind you, I left home at an early age. Okay, Princeton. Yeah, I took Schaefer before, so we came out one street over, but they're parallel. Oh my goodness, that roller just... Okay, on my left, that's where the elementary school used to be. On my right, there's Open M. They redid it, and they tore the house out. My cousin used to stay in a house right here. And there's some other things I can say about this small little area right here. Like one of the kids that we knew growing up that was close to my brother that I have no business having, was hit by a car and died. Right here, this used to be Ferris Mart. On my right side, you can't see it. It's a corner store. It used to be Ferris Mart. Now some other Arabics on it. Now right here, what I got, I'm on Princeton Street now. This is the street I grew up on. spent the majority of my childhood. When I got to this light, there was a cop over there, ready to go across. I went in front of him. He went behind me. I have cousins. One, my uncle used to have that place. 2, 3, 4. And that's like distant family. And then over here, you can't even see the places that I'm pointing at, but that's where my great cousin Linda and her mother that the government murdered, and then later on her sister moved down here. It's so much stuff I can tell you about these places. And then on the right side, that's where I grew up. You can't even see this stuff in the dark. So the street that we're claiming that I was on is right here. It's like a cross street. Well, not even a cross street, like a diagonal street. You ride off of it into this main street. But I never hit it. Just like I'm not hitting it now. I'm gonna be mad as fuck if I get back and see that they said that shit again. And so right here is where I turned onto the alley. I used to walk this way all the time growing up. I had a best friend that stayed over here on the next street over, parallel, Amherst. And we would catch the bus stop near her place. That's high school. Like in middle school, we would walk right up the street from her place. So right now I'm on Amherst. And this is where I was telling you that the landlord recently purchased the place to claim that he was that he knew me from a different time. Right across the street, that house right there that's in the view, I knew him like growing up and all kind of stuff. They changed people. So this is the way I went. Taking you the exact way I went. We're on Amherst. If anybody was out like sitting on the porch, it's cold still outside. But if anybody was out sitting on the porch, they noticed that I passed by twice. No one's out to notice this. It's taking place.